Hi, I'm Trooper Smacka.
Hi, I'm Trooper Wellman,
Please stay tuned for a behind-the-scenes look at being a state trooper.
and together we can make a difference.
Here we are live at the 360 Vegas studios. We have Trooper Cecina, not Cecina, and Trooper Schlater. And so we appreciate both of you gentlemen coming on. Listen, I got something for you. Ready?
Okay.
See this camera here?
Yep.
All right. I want you to look into that camera and tell anybody that if they have a passion for DUIs, that they can go to Nevada State Police, right? Because you're always looking for people and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Right. So tell everybody right there. They want to hear that from you.
If you have a passion for DUIs, come join the Nevada State Police.
Yeah, great. Anything else, Dad?
We have the best job in the world. We have the ability to. This is
Yeah,
not,
no, I want to hear. They want to hear this. That's
we have
why
the
we
best
need to
job
get
in the
people.
world because we have the ability and the freedom to go do the work that we want to do or the work wherever we want to work. No other agency in this town that I know of allows their people to get out of the sector beat that they are supposed to be in. We're the only agency that I know of that says, hey, go do work. Go handle your calls for service. After that, you can go do whatever work you want to do.
And it's important. You know what I mean? We talked about that before, right?
Right.
For people that are doing the lateral moves and stuff like this,
Exactly, yeah.
because it's not as enjoyable as like take the 215 and drive that way
Yeah.
and see what happens. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
And so, all right. Listen, this is very interesting. Johnny, we're going to be talking for a few hours. You know, I know. All right. All right. Nevada State Fire Marshal investigates Sergeant Martin and investigator Knack were recently recognized for their quick response. Is that right, Knack?
I believe that's what you say, yeah.
So here's what I'm going to say to you. That's really cool because people don't know that the fire marshal is under the Nevada State Police.
True.
They think Nevada State Police, well, they just do police. They just write tickets. That's all they do. But that's not the case. And so one of the best parts about the Nevada State Police is that you can have a passion for something and then in a certain amount of time say, you know what? I want to go do something else, but I want to keep all my benefits, everything that I've worked for because I love the people that I'm with.
Right.
I'm just interested in trying something else.
Yep.
And so there's nothing wrong with that.
Exactly. No.
Right.
No.
You keep your seniority. You keep the ability to go do what there's the movement is fluid. There's no struggle to go somewhere else. If I decided tomorrow that I wanted to be a parole and probation officer, then I could go and do that. And that's something that's not offered anywhere else.
Yeah, and you can take your expertise,
Yeah.
right? And you can go even further and you could learn DUIs and you could learn this but becoming a fire marshal, being part of the Nevada State Police is just it's very cool.
It is.
Like I mean
Very cool.
the knowledge that they must have and again, just like you and with what you do, it must be tremendous. And
Yeah.
one of the things that the Nevada State Police does differently than everyone else, and so that's why it's a wonderful job.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because it affords the ability, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Congratulations to Trooper Stapleton, who recently retired from the Nevada State
Brother,
Police.
Yeah.
All right, let's see what this one is.
I'm going to be Trooper student. Thank you for keeping me safe all these years. And,
It's a great pleasure to announce that as of 1420 hours, November 3rd, 2023, after 17 and a half years of self-service and fire patrol, Trooper Barbara Stapleton, Series 6164 is retiring. Thank you for your phone call. To our public safety and a great day, I'd like to thank you for your many years of self-service to the law enforcement professions in our community. Take pride knowing you have left a profound impact on many people who have had the pleasure to know and work with you. Heading into 164, your medal declaration time is 1420 hours. Have a wonderful and relaxing retirement. You will be missed.
we had Colonel Ann Carpenter come on after she retired, and one of the things that Trooper Wellman was always talked about is the women that are in Nevada State Police. And then we had Miss Stevenson on. We had Miss Lopez, I think her name.
Yes,
right,
Ms.
from
Lopez
the
from
parole and
PMP.
probation,
Yeah.
right? And Officer Lopez, not Miss
Officer
Ra-
Lopez,
Ra-
yeah, not Trooper
Right,
Lopez.
right,
Officer
not
Lopez.
Trooper, right? And so the thing is this: that men or women,
Mm-hmm.
the Nevada State Police loves you.
Oh,
Of course,
100%.
yeah.
Right, and so you can look in her eyes, and you can tell that she is very excited for the future.
Yeah.
But when it comes to this, it's something that was very passionate,
Yeah.
and you have to have passion to do your job,
For sure.
right? Like when you wake up in the morning, you have your passion and your excitement, for the DUI, but it's not like, oh, I'm excited to go catch that guy, tonight because, but you have to have that
Drive.
that drive because you have to catch that person tonight because if you don't, he's going to kill someone or her or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And so when it comes to the DUIs, okay, the driving under the influence, okay, let's talk about that. Just because a person goes to a place, a bar, a friend's house, or whatever, and the legal limit is 0.08,
Right.
just because they're below that and they only had a couple or whatever, that doesn't make a difference. If they are under the influence, they can still be arrested. Is that true?
Correct. Yes. So our DUI law has three principles, I guess is the best way to say it. Has three different ways that it could be. So we have what's called impairment theory, which says due to the totality of the circumstances, you are under the influence. So it doesn't matter what the limit you are at or what you have in your system or anything. It is the totality of the circumstances. So the best way to explain it is like if I see a car speeding, failing to maintain their lane, and driving with their lights off, when I go up to the car, I smell the strong odor of an unknown intoxicating beverage emitting from the vehicle. I do some field sobriety tests, and they do very poorly on all the field sobriety tests. I take them to jail. They blow in the intoxilizer, and they're a .06. Well, they are still DUI.
Still DUI.
Still DUI.
Okay.
Because of the impairment theory. Because the
Okay.
impairment theory says, hey, ABC equaled them being impaired.
Right.
Then you have the B theory. So it's A theory, B theory, it's C theory. B theory says they were a .08 at the time they were driving. So, or .08 or above at the time they were driving. And what that means is that we got a blood draw, and then they did what's called retrograde extrapolation, which is just a fancy word to say they did a lot of math to figure out what they were at the exact time we pulled them over. Scientists did that, not us.
Yeah, not us.
And then the C theory, which is which most commonly used, is that they were at or above a .08 within 2 hours of driving, or had drugs in their system.
Within 2 hours of you.
Of driving or being in actual physical control. So like we arrested them, and then we got a blood draw within the 2 hour limit. Then whatever that blood draw is, so let's say you arrest somebody at 10:30, and then you got the blood draw at 11:30. Let's just say it took a while to get to the blood draw.
Yeah.
Whatever that results is at 11:30 falls under the C theory.
So if it's above the .08.
Exactly.
So if it's above .08, then there's no question that's the end of it. Thank you very much.
Correct.
Right?
Correct. Yeah.
But when you're doing this, right? So like in your mind, like again, you're going through the 2 steps, the 4 steps, the thing that just like. Listen, I do what I do over there, and people think that I stand behind a counter all day, and I try to
Right.
explain to them that's not what I do. My mind is thinking all day long, right? Just as both of you.
Right.
But the thing is to do all this and remember all this, and then like, again, I come to the fact of the totality of the situation. I like how you say that. You know what I mean? That, these people are making the choice to get behind the wheel and be under the influence.
Correct.
Right? And so that's what I love about the fact of when you and bringing someone on of his expertise.
Yes.
Right? Because when it comes to the law, people want to know the law.
Right.
Right? And so the law is not there so you can try to find a way around it. Right? You laugh, but it's probably the truth, right? Yeah. That's what they do.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Try to find a loophole.
Right, you're trying to find a loophole, but actually it's like when we had Trooper Thayer on, and he says, listen, we're going to be here at 6 o'clock in the morning to 8 o'clock, and we're going to tell everyone it's on every news channel, but still you get the person that blows past them at 130 miles an hour, and they say, like, well, you're entrapping me because I didn't know you were there. Like, you know what I mean? And so these people, they get behind the wheel, right? You pull them over. It's their choice. It's not yours.
Right.
Exactly.
You didn't make the wrong choice. So when it comes to that, although it might be difficult because it's a different type of person, like an older person or whatever, it doesn't matter. They still made the wrong choice, right?
Yeah, and that's where our training comes. That's where attention to detail comes into play and everything. Know what we have in front of us. We're not just going to stop everyone just to stop that person, because then we're violating the rights. We have to know what we have in front of us. Are they speeding? Are they failing to maintain their lane? That's when the whole totality of the circumstances starts, the driving in motion. What do you have in front of you? You're starting to see a pattern of the vehicle failing to maintain, no lights. So you're starting to build up your case. All right, I already have X, Y, and Z, and he's just driving. I haven't even lit him up. Now you get into the questions, the investigation, where you're coming from. You start to divide your attention. Let me have your driver license, registration, insurance. And then you start asking those questions. Where are you coming from? So they'll stop, and then they'll look at you, or they'll give you their credit card or something. So you start picking up on little things here and there. And then you take them out of the car. You start seeing how they behave. Are they stumbling? Are they holding on? Are they what is it that they're doing? So all of that, we're already starting to take all that information. We're already starting to lay out what's going on. That's just adding to our folder of the totality of circumstances. So now you can articulate the vehicle is driving this way. I noticed that the driver was acting this way. The driver was walking this way. And the driver conducted this standard field sobriety test this way. So with all of that, now you can present it, and you can articulate what you have and why is it that you did what you did.
Yeah, it's very important, and I love how you laid that out.
Yeah.
And again, it comes back. I always come back to the training, right? I always come back to the fact of, when it comes to the academy, that they teach you this way to make sure that when you go out and everybody does it the same exact way so that you know the answer. Like, look, I did this. And so that's important. It's not like we're parked on the side of a road and then you're coming up with these things. These people are traveling on a highway.
Right.
Yeah.
Maybe on the
Highway,
streets or
roadway.
roadways,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But the point is they're traveling.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And so you are able to be behind them,
Yeah,
right?
they are forward moving unless they crash.
They're forward moving unless they crash, right?
Yeah.
All right, let's see what we got for this one. Traffic safety campaign called Dusk to Dawn. Okay. Well,
That's awesome.
That's very cool.
he's now a lieutenant, I think,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. He has bars at sea. He's awesome.
Right. So Lieutenant Campbell, we have him on the motorcycle. He brought his motorcycle here.
Mm-hmm.
We do when he does the DUI thing, and I bring my car, and you know what I mean, and all that. He has a passion for the schools, for the not school safety. He's school safety, but the school zones.
School zones. Okay.
Right? But he's out there. Just and so when it comes to everyone, it's not about the money,
Oh yeah, no.
right? And let's talk about the money, which is great now that you guys got the raise and that, you know what I mean, and all that. But you have to have the passion for what you do in this industry
100%.
because you are putting your life on the line every day. And so when you leave in the morning, that you don't know what the day entails, and so you have to be prepared.
Yep.
And so being prepared mentally means that as soon as you get behind the wheel in that car or your SUV, right? You have to know what you're doing, because there could be something right in front of you that really needs your help or attention or whatever.
I mean, I it makes me think of an example. I was working a DUI enforcement night, and I had left my house, got out of my neighborhood, made a right turn, made a left turn onto, over where I live, and then I see this car doing things, and I was like, I should probably pull that car over. That's not good. So I pull the car over, DUI, right there. Hadn't even been on for 15 minutes.
And so let's talk about that in a few ways, okay? Number one, you don't have a take-home car.
We do have take-home cars.
No. I'm saying you don't have a take-home car.
Yeah.
There's nothing you could do because you have to get to the station.
Yeah, right.
Thank God you have the take-home car,
Yeah.
and so you're there.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And so that's, again, one of the benefits of having that take-home car is that you saw something and you were able to step in right then and there.
Yeah.
And
We
so-
start from our driveway and we end from our driveway. It's the best thing, because if there is a dangerous act happen right in front of us, we can stop it right there. We don't have to
Wait.
call or wait
Yeah.
or anything like
can
that.
act upon it, yeah.
And sometimes, I've had to call, like when I'm on my personal car or whatever. But if I see something super dangerous, I've called, and sometimes I can get a cop to me, and sometimes I can't. It just depends. But there's so many times where you see something. And that's something I would love to stress to people is
tell me.
if you see something, say something. Like, I know it's we see it on the airport and all of that, but it applies on the
is
roadway too. If you see a car driving dangerously or failing to maintain lane or crashing or almost crashing or anything like that, call it in. There's a theory, I can't think of the name of it right now, but there's a theory that it's I think it's called I want to say it's called the bystander effect, but don't quote me on that. Where if you see something bad happen,
Yes.
and there's
yes.
100 people around, right? There's a big crowd. If you see somebody getting stabbed, for example, you're like, oh, somebody will call. It's okay. And everybody there thinks somebody will call, so nobody calls.
Yes.
And then now this person died because no one called. So please call, because if it's not you that they crashed into, it's potentially somebody else. So if you can get that person off the road because you gave us a call, that with a license plate, hopefully, a vehicle description, something better than just black car, that would be fantastic, because when you say just black car, I can't find it.
Right.
Unless it's graveyard and there's only two cars on the road.
Right,
then
right.
I got some luck.
Then you get right.
But on swing shift or day shift,
Yeah. Needle in a haystack.
I'm not going to find it.
Right.
But if we can get a vehicle description, if we can get the actions, all of those things help, because then we can find the car and we can stop the action, and we can see why they're driving that way. Because maybe it is a DUI, or maybe they are having a medical episode, or maybe they're having an emergency that they need the police for that they just haven't called the police for. We both have worked rolling domestics, and rolling domestics aren't pretty, and the driver and passenger typically aren't calling the police while they're beating each other up. So that's something that if you see a car moving around a lot, it might not be impairment.
Yeah.
It might be
I never thought
them fighting.
I never thought about that.
Or diabetic episode too, as
diabetic.
Or
well,
that,
because it acts the same way almost.
It is very important, and I never thought about that. You know what I mean? And so I think I did hear once about a bystander law.
Yeah.
Like where you
Yeah, the
like
bystander effect, yeah.
like you have to do it. I never thought about that because I will tell you that I see cars swerve all the time and I never even thought about it. Like like the other night, not to interrupt real quick, but the other night when I was driving home, there was this black like Escalade type of a thing, like this, and they like took off, and I never called.
Yeah.
But I never thought about it in the sense that maybe it's like that.
Yeah.
Like
Right.
maybe two people are actually fighting in a car, and we
Yeah.
need to help them.
Right.
And just to piggyback off of what he said and to the public out there, if you guys want to get in touch with us faster with our dispatchers, you can call Star NHP instead of Star or 911. You connect faster through us, Star NHP, and be a good witness. Like he said, get a good description of the vehicle, get a license plates. Don't ever put you in a situation where you're going to endanger yourself or others. There's no necessity for you to speed or trying to catch up to it, but be a good witness. And yes, using a cellular device while operating a motor vehicle is unlawful, but if you're reporting an emergency, you're more than welcome to get on your phone, dial NHP, Star NHP, and call us and give us information.
Yep.
So-
And also to add, just to add on that too, is if you happen to get a description of the driver, that would be fantastic.
That'd be
Because I know I'm asking a lot here, but minimum vehicle description for sure.
Yeah.
Vehicle description for sure. License plate would be fantastic. If you get the driver, I don't know. I'll give you a crisp high five,
Right.
or something, because like that would be a lot of the times when we can kind of side drift this to like hit and runs.
Yeah.
So we have a lot of hit and runs in this town right now, and
Yeah.
so if we have a report, let's just say, because somebody in the public called it in, if we have a report of a black Escalade with Nevada plate, let's just say you only got a partial 1, 2, 3.
Right.
Okay, swerving and failing to maintain their lane and speeding. All right, cool. That's noted. And then we have a crash 10 minutes later in a relatively level or relatively same area within 10 minutes. Then they only had they have a black Escalade, but they don't know they only got the last 3 of the plate. Adam Boy Charles.
Oh, yeah.
Well, now we potentially have the beginning of the plate and the end of the plate, and we could put that together and find the black Escalade that just did the hit and run. But if you didn't originally call it in, we don't have anything. All we have is the last 3 of the plate or whatever the victim has.
So it's very important that even if you feel like you're not doing anything to make. I just never thought about it. You know what I mean? And the fact of that, even if you don't think that it's necessary to just call it in or whatever it is, I just like I said, it's part of why I love doing the Trooper Talk.
Yeah.
Right? Because we just like we ask these questions that are just totally there that I never thought about. Right? And one of them is doing that. So all right, so if we see something, we should say something. It's very important that you might be helping a potential crime down the road that maybe you're not aware of.
Right. Yeah.
And I never thought about the hit and runs.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
I mean, I guess on a freeway you don't think about hit and runs, but like,
Oh my God, they've been
happens
happening
all
a
the
lot
time.
more nowadays.
what do they do? They hit the person from behind?
Yeah,
Yep.
and they leave or side swipe or whatever it is. Yeah,
And they exit and take off.
exit and take off. Whatever type of crash, they'll take off.
Yeah. Or like they'll play like they're gonna exit with the person and then go back on last second, and
Yeah.
it's a very bad.
Or they'll try to fix it there because sometimes I arrived and I talk to the other party and they're like, oh yeah, they wanted to pay it on cash or whatever. They didn't want a police and everything. And as soon as I mentioned the police, they got on and they took off. So there's a lot of everything. So, but it has been happening a lot. So the best thing I can say, and what he said is, get a good description, be a good witness. I saw this vehicle with these plates, something that sends out of the vehicle, a sticker or something, and then the driver.
And so let me ask this since you guys brought it up. So if someone's involved in a hit and run, right? So if that happens, the person is not to go at 100 miles an hour and start
Correct.
chasing this person down
Correct.
down
If you
streets,
can get
right?
us a license plate,
Like-
we're good.
right.
That's all we need.
Okay.
Just a license plate.
Just the license plate.
Yeah,
Just
if
a
you
license
can get
plate.
us a license plate, this is where I would encourage everybody to get
Yes,
dash cameras.
explain this to me.
Dash cameras are a fantastic thing.
Mm-hmm.
I would recommend everybody gets a dash camera. I can't force it upon people, but dash cameras are very cheap,
Yeah.
and they solve
There's so many.
most of our crashes, especially the side swipes. Like if I have a side swipe, every single time I've had a side swipe, they're always like, I was in my lane and they hit me. I was in my lane and they hit me. And I'm like, well, both of you couldn't be in your lane and hit each other. That doesn't work. So
Right.
now I have to do some more investigative work. I have to hope and pray that we have a witness that wasn't involved in the crash or something, some independent source, like a dash cam.
Right.
And
Right.
so the first thing I would say is having a dash camera really is helpful because then you can, one, protect yourself, and two, help us when you get into like a side swipe crash. Because I can figure it out on a rear ender. That's not difficult. I got that. But on a hit and run, the biggest thing to remember is we do not want you to risk your own life for trying to catch up to somebody. Just get us the license plate. We can do all the legwork from there. We have programs to find vehicles, and we can find them. It might take some digging, might take us some time. So we always tell people on a standard crash, just that we have everything and we know everybody. That takes to get it to you, to the public. It takes 7 to 10
7 to 10
business
business
days.
days, yes.
7 to 10 business days to get to you because it has to be approved, it has to go through our sergeant and all of that. For a hit and run, we're closer to like 15 days because we have to go out and try to find that car or vehicle. So, and it's only us doing it. We don't have like a separate division that does hit and runs. So we have to go out when we aren't busy with other calls to go try to find that that car or that house or whatever. And then also for the people who have hit and run in the past, don't hit and run because if that person is injured and you didn't check on them, that's a felony crime. And it doesn't matter the level of injury.
Felony.
It's a felony crime.
So,
Yeah.
and I don't mean to put. So felony means arrested.
100%.
Right.
100%,
Okay.
yes.
And then arrested on felony means that you could end up on the parole and probation,
Of course.
Yeah, or in prison.
or in prison.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, not good.
Not
No.
good.
Like ruin your life. So if you hit someone, and it's and not to say it's an accident because it's a crash, right? But if you hit someone and it's only metal or it's only whatever, you know what I mean? Like the best thing that you can do is to just stay,
Stay. Yeah,
stay.
and not pay, but I mean like fix the problem with that
Right.
person or whatever,
Right.
right? Go on.
Because you have a standard. Anybody who's involved in a crash has to stop, check on injuries, make sure everybody's okay, and exchange information.
Has to.
Has to.
Has to.
Required
That's
by
it.
law.
Required by
they
law.
have to.
Uh-huh.
So if you don't exchange your information is your insurance, your registration. I
License,
don't
all
think
that
your license, but I don't even.
I believe it's just the registration.
I think it's just registration insurance is the requirement.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
I mean, we would hope you have a driver's license, but
Right. But the registration,
the registration
and the
insurance
for the vehicle.
are a have to. You have to have that information.
Uh-huh.
And if you don't provide that information or you don't check on injuries, then you're gonna. And let's say, best case scenario, you hit and run, and then now we find you, and now instead of getting the one ticket you would have got for causing the crash, you're gonna end up getting like 7 citations for all of the things that you did.
Which include
because
failure to stop and yield.
failure to stop at the scene of
Failure
the
to provide
crash,
information.
failure to provide information, failure to render aid, failure to report the crash to the DMV, the crash causing violation, and then whatever else there is. So if your vehicle registration was like suspended or expired or anything,
Because that's why you drove off, because
It
there
could
might
be.
be some.
100%.
It could be.
And so we always, or I try to encourage people to say, if you stop and you're honest,
It can go a long way.
we can work with that. Yes, we have to do the crash causing violation because you caused the crash. Yes, we have to do that. But hey, if you had a lapse of insurance and that's why your registration's suspended, but now you have current insurance, I'm not going to write you a suspended registration ticket. If you don't have a driver's license because the DMV test is too hard and you know whatever your reason or excuse is, I can work with it. But if you just leave, there's
That's it.
no chance.
Which is what a lot of people they get scared about. They don't have a driver license, registration, or something. It's like if they would have stayed there, maybe they wouldn't have gotten that ticket for the driver license, and they just would have received one ticket for that caution violation. But now that you left, now you're looking, instead of one, now you're looking at 7. So it's like, is it really worth it?
It's not
Like,
worth it.
You have to ask yourself.
And they could have been under the influence.
That very well could be the case too.
And so now they're putting everyone's life at risk because they're trying to get away from something that they just caught. Like,
Yeah.
it's very bad. Yes.
And there are a lot of times where we'll go to the house right after the crash, or the
That's it.
person's house, or where we think they are, and we'll go. And if we find them, then it's still on whatever it
game on.
was.
Yeah.
So
Especially if they're within that area of that crash.
yeah, because sometimes people's cars are too damaged, and then so they try to run away, and then their car doesn't agree with that move,
Right.
and so then we find them, and it works out like that. But I would just encourage everybody, no matter what reason you're running, just stay. Just stay, face the consequences, own up to what you did. It will 100% work out better for you doing that than running. Because if you run,
You're just making things worse.
all bets are off, and you're going to end up getting way more charges than it's worth.
And I never thought about the fact, like we talk about, people do things, but, that you run and then all of a sudden that, somebody got hurt. And then it starts becoming these felonies and more felonies, and then you're all done.
Yeah.
Yep.
So it's not worth it.
Not worth it.
And you left for
sorry,
you left for a misdemeanor DUI, and now you have a felony hit and run.
Right.
Right. And so it's very, very bad.
Yeah. So
No, I was just going to say that. You know what I mean? Let's see what we got on this. Academy 100. Did you teach that one? Or
that's up north.
100's up north.
Yeah.
Conducted a hero workout in honor and remembrance of Trooper Gary Gifford.
I taught 99.
This morning we were conducting a hero workout of the day, a hero walk, in memory of Trooper Gary Gifford, who was killed in the line of duty back in 1975. Trooper Gifford was killed conducting a traffic stop just east of Tahoe in the Cave Rock area, and that stretch of highway is dedicated to his memory. And it's an honor to be able to do this workout with the cadets, being able to remember these fallen officers and keep the memories alive, that they're not forgotten, and the sacrifices they made. Here at the Academy, we stress physical fitness and physical training. We want that to be a part of their daily lives, even beyond the Academy. It's really enjoyable to see the cadets come together and cheer each other on and be part of the team with each other. We're completing week 4 of 28. They still have 24 more weeks to go before they are Academy graduates and going to be out on their own for field training.
Trooper Micah May. You knew him?
A little bit. I wasn't super close with him, but I knew him.
You were there when that happened?
Yeah, I came. So I'm a peer support member. So I came and did the peer support thing for everybody, or for everybody that was there. So I came and I came after the scene was done, or not done. But we were still on scene. The Metro was doing their thing and all of that. So I came and I sat with a couple of troopers involved in the incident and helped them out.
And without going into specifics, what is that like?
So peer support, what it is, so what peer support is anytime that you are dealing with something, and it doesn't have to be in the job, it could be your personal life. Let's say you want to talk to somebody who understands what it's like to be in law enforcement. but you don't want to talk to a counselor or something like that, then you have peer support for that. So it's a personal conversation. It doesn't go any further than me, and unless it needs to. So like obviously if you're talking about like suicide or homicide or anything like that, like that's a mandatory report thing. But other than that, it's completely confidential, and it's something to be able to have that relationship that you were talking about earlier today. And so with that scene, I came on, I spoke to, I was paired up with one trooper, so I paired up with the troop and just kind of sat with them. I was there to just kind of be there. And if he wanted to talk about anything or not talk about anything, I was just there. So in that particular instance, you know, I talked more of a distraction than anything else. And then after that, met him for many of meals to check on his mental health and check on his, you know, quality of life after the fact.
And you're a warrior, right? So when someone comes and they are of your peer, right, and they talk personal, like it's not good because we just need to tell everybody like we're as strong as possible and that we're not weak, right? But at the end of the day, we're all human,
Right. Of course.
and so when you see something that is horrific, you need to talk, and you need to talk in a confidential way. That I always, and all the time that Trooper Wellman was here, and she would go to these horrific
Yeah.
crashes.
Scenes, yeah.
She would always say she called Sergeant Smacka.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? She'd
Yeah.
be like, look, you know, like it's like she wouldn't go into when we talk like about the specifics of all the conversation, but you know,
Yeah.
it was like, listen, like I need to talk, or you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's literally gotten to the point where it's too much, right?
Yeah. I was in a situation about a year and a half ago, or 2 years almost, where I had to use peer support. And actually, Ashley Wellman was who came to my scene and talked to me through it. And it's relieving. Not only are they there for comfort, they're there to listen to you. They're there to talk things out. Last thing you want to do is take it home and, you know, take it out with your family, your daughter, your wife or something, and then create an environment where it's not healthy for you guys as a relationship. So having peer support, which they're available 24/7, it's good. Not only just because of the relationship that me and him have, or Ashley Wellman, but just because of the fact that I know I can go out to him and I know he's going to listen to me, guide me maybe through some stuff, check up on me and everything like that. And that's it. Me and him are the only one that knows. And I'm able to, you know, be better. Or I know that if I'm at home and I'm like, I want to go to the bar and drink myself to a point or something,
Yeah.
I can call him. Hey, let's go to a restaurant or something. Let's hang out or something. So I have that. I have that outlet. I have that outlet. Who knows what my job consists of? Who knows what I've seen? Who understands me and everything like that? And I encourage everyone that you're human at the end of the day. And if you feel like you need to talk to someone, please reach out to someone out there, because we're all here to help each other.
Yeah, that's one of the things that I'm really happy with about our lieutenant colonel is he's all about mental health, and so there's not the stigma as much as there was with us talking about our feelings or things like that. Like we can talk about it and there's no judgment. Like if I had a rough call or I had something that just bothered me to a point that I had to talk to somebody, I could talk to somebody, and there's not going to be like oh wow, that bothered you? Like how did that bother you? You've seen 100 of these. Like it's hey, I understand where you're coming from. You know, I've been on a hard call or two too, and if you want to talk about anything, I'm here.
Yeah.
And to have that avenue is way better, way more healthy than anything else, because without being able to talk about it or process it, all you do is push it down or bottle it up or box it away or whatever you want to call it. and then eventually it comes back because it always does.
Yeah, and that's why I think it's wonderful that, that you do that and that you do that and that, you're open enough to want to do that.
Yeah.
Like you know what I mean? Like I think it's very important. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
And it's great that the academy is doing this for, in remembrance of Trooper
Yeah,
Gary.
no, that's what
And
I'm saying. It's
Our academy is going to be the 101, and I think it starts on March. So if you want to apply, you want to work for us, there's still time. We'll do stuff like that for our fallen troopers as well. So it's always good to, do things to remember those who have fallen.
Very quickly. So March. So how long does it take if someone applies today?
We're trying to check what's today, the 10th.
Like if someone was to apply today,
Okay.
right? They did the ride along. They want to apply.
Yeah.
It takes. I think you said about 6 months or 4 months, 3 months or something to go through all the.
Yeah, all the process, the hiring
so they
process
could
and
do it.
everything.
So they could do it today.
Yeah.
And they probably could get in that March class.
Oh yeah, definitely. Especially right now, our team is working very hard to process people fast. Obviously, they still have to go through everything. They still have to make sure that they're good qualifications and candidates to the academy. But I've heard that they've taken them 2-3 months. If they're able to schedule everything
They're
pretty
trying
quick,
to streamline it.
they're trying to we'll get you in. So if you're interested, it's not too late for you to log in. NevadaStatePolice.com and talk to a recruiter if you need to talk to him, but you're still early to where if you want to apply, you can apply, and you'll most likely make the academy
Also
for this
want
March.
Also want to add too, if you are unsure of what agency you want to go with, or you are thinking about a career in law enforcement and you're not 100% confident, the best thing you can do is ride-alongs. Do ride-alongs with all the agencies. All the agencies offer. Well, most of the agencies offer them. Our agency, you could go down to our Southern Command office at 4615 West Sunset Road, and you could fill out the application and get the ride-along scheduled, and that's the best way to see if that's the agency that you want to work for, because it's a in-person, real-time, hey, how is this agency or this department actually ran without the fluff?
Yeah, and that's what they need to see, and that's what separates Nevada State Police. We talk about the take-home car and now the pay and all that type of stuff, but that's the stuff that people need to see, because once they do, then they want to join the Nevada State Police family because they see that this is the way that it's run. Yeah. And again, I come back to, and I said it before, the thread on the shirt.
Yes.
If that thread on the shirt is not there, then everything else is the same exact way.
Exactly.
And that's why I like when you talk about the DUI and the thing, you know what I mean? Like everything is standardized, right? Like, look, this is the way that it is. This is the way you have to do it. When I see those people, they when they pull people over, they even like on the TV show, the captains and the lieutenants, they still pull out that little card to read the person you have the right to remain silent.
Right,
They pull it out and they look at it and they read exactly, because just like you said, I'm not going to miss one word.
Exactly.
Right? And then somebody says I didn't do it right.
That can make or break your case.
All right, I'm going to sit there and read this whole entire thing. So, Oh, let's see. Ladies, leadership, and law enforcement. Well, the ladies, I mean, they're fantastic. You
There's
know what I'm
Lopez.
saying? And so,
Officer Lopez right there.
And all of them. They're all
And the
great.
rest of them, yeah, of course.
they're there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I've known a few of the ladies. We met the Officer Lopez, who does the parole and probation.
Yes.
Right? And you look at her and, with the sergeant there, and they're going to your house.
Mhm.
They're knocking on the door, and they're making sure that people in the valley are safe.
Yes.
100%.
When it comes to the Halloween, right, to make sure that those bad people are not
Sex offenders.
going to places that they shouldn't, and making sure the lights are off and the thing and the spiel. But I come back to the fact that now it is November, and November is the end of the year, and so it doesn't matter that it's the Thanksgiving or the holidays after that. This is all holiday season for the next 2 months.
Oh, yeah.
Because there's parties and there's this and all these things are happening, right? That the ladies are there 100%, and there's no difference between a lady and a man when it comes
Definitely
to what it is that you do.
And also to add to the holidays, so we always have a rise of DUI drivers in the months of November and December, every single year. And so December is always our DUI month. So we put up a tree and we put up a bulb for every DUI that was made on that month. And just to, re-urge people to just not drive under the influence, especially during this time, because it is so dangerous. There's so many other options, and if you could just somehow manage to drive in some other way, or not drive, but if you could get home in some other way, that's the best way to go. I don't care if you had 1 drink or 17 drinks. Just take an Uber, take a Lyft, or whatever. It's worth the surge price, I promise. Right, the $60, if it's even that, is worth it, because I've I'm human too. I've gone out to have a drink, and I Uber every time, because it's like, I'm not gonna take the risk of putting somebody's life on the line just because I wanted to have a drink with dinner. Like,
Right.
It's just not. It's not even an idea. So figure out a way to do it safely.
You're out there.
Yeah.
And there's no messing around.
No.
Like you know what I mean? Like, we come here and we laugh and we joke, and you know what I mean? Like, you guys together, and it's all funny and all that. But don't mess around.
Right.
Right? Like, put me into a position, like we talked last week, I think it was, or you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Put me into a position and you break the law, you will go to jail.
Yeah.
Like you know what I mean? And so, like, there's no reason.
Yep.
1 drink is too many. You know what I mean? Like if you're any type of impairment, and that's why I like the totality of the situation, because maybe that one person had 1 drink and they weigh 85 pounds,
Right.
right? And that makes them much more tipsy than a guy who weighs 600 pounds.
Yeah. Well, and a good example too is if you don't drink, and then you have that 1 drink, it's going to mess you up way more than the person who drinks all the time. So so you have 1 drink for somebody who's never drank a day in their life. That 1 drink will impair them.
I don't drink. I, about 2 years ago, started to drink a little bit of amaretto. My father got me the amaretto when I was young, when I got like the cold store.
Right.
Like he would put it on there. And so I started to drink like a glass of amaretto, like when I was at home and stuff like that, right? And then my doctor told me, like, okay, that's enough. Like, you can't do
Yeah.
that. You know what I'm saying? Like, but the thing is that 1 little glass of amaretto with the round ice cube
Yeah.
made me, I don't know what my alcohol level
Yeah.
was, but I'm saying I was in the comfort of my home,
Yeah.
but I was definitely like
felt
shaky like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was 1 little drink, and I mean, it's probably like a glass of wine, or like you said, and I don't drink, and so it totally freaked me out.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right? Because you're and I couldn't even imagine getting behind the wheel.
Yeah. Oh,
Like
yeah.
looking at my car and go, oh yeah, what is, but people do.
Oh,
Yeah.
yep.
'Cause it becomes easy for them.
And the level of impairment is bad. Go ahead. Yeah.
And yeah, just like Trooper Slater is phenomenal at DUIs. We have some of the ladies that are phenomenal as well. We had a Trooper Huff, who was very great too. Deborah Huff, I don't know if you ever met her. She was phenomenal at DUIs as well. And we have troopers out there. We have a Trooper Fall. She's great with DUIs too as well. And she's great out there on the, enforcing the community. So
The ladies are fantastic.
the ladies are fantastic.
And they're out there.
Yes.
Right?
yeah.
And so just because it's a lady, that doesn't mean, I'm going to get one over, and you know what I mean, and all this
no.
type of stuff.
There's ladies who overwork some of the guys out there.
And they go through the same training.
Oh yeah.
Exactly.
Right?
100%.
Like, it's not like
Yeah, I
one
was gonna
academy.
say, like, I've taught everybody in this picture. Yeah. Yeah.
and
I've
so
taught
they
everybody in this
know
picture.
about this.
Yeah.
Right? Like, they went through the same training, and so that's what's important.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And so we need to rely on them.
Yeah,
in
and then
every way
the
that we
lieutenants
can.
and captains that we had, my current Lieutenant Vonk, she's great. She has a lot of knowledge and everything. So it's, definitely ladies out there, they can do the same job as us, if not even better.
Yeah. So,
So-
we commend them. You know what
Of
I'm
course,
saying?
yes.
100%.
We're encouraged more to join us.
Right.
Please.
Tell them,
Yeah, we encourage more females to join us. If you guys want to join us,
Please.
look at what you have in front of you. You can do whatever it is you
The
want. You can
Highway
be as good as you
Patrol
want.
would like to have
More ladies.
female officers,
Yes.
please,
Yes.
because PMP has plenty. All right? I'm not,
As you can
not-
see.
I'm not bagging them, but I would like to have some more female officers on the NHP
Yes,
side.
of course.
So if you're a lady and you'd like to be on the Nevada State Police and you want to be a trooper,
We are hired.
we are hiring.
NevadaStatePolice.com.
NevadaStatePolice.com.
Oh,
There he
there
is,
you go.
Lieutenant Campbell again.
I love him.
So we did. So when I was Johnny and I were leaving the IPOF meeting. When was that, Johnny? About 5 months ago. Wasn't that long? Johnny and I. So maybe it was a couple of years ago, and we were driving. We left Metro headquarters, and we were coming up Charleston Boulevard. And as we were coming up Charleston Boulevard, we see this ridiculous leprechaun going back and forth, right? And so Johnny and I look over and we see, at that time he was Sergeant Campbell,
Yeah.
and they were all there, all the officers, and they had up on the right hand side like maybe 15 motorcycles, right? And they were like, okay, like that's it, like blue Honda, you know what I
Yep.
mean, 35 miles an hour, didn't stop. And so they go out there and do these ridiculous costumes,
Yeah.
and people still blow past them.
Oh my God.
And so
Yeah.
we commend them for doing it. So anyway, and
I tell people all the time, I'm like, I could, because I have a slick top car, and so they're always like, oh, well, that's why I didn't see you. And I'm like, listen, I could be driving a hot pink car with a neon sign that says I am the police, and you would still pass me.
right.
So
I mean, they passed me.
yeah, there's no there's nothing that I could put on my car that I believe would make it to a point that no one would pass me. Like I just
Yeah. And so on the roadways, which again, let's say this, okay? Nevada State Police, you don't just work on the highway,
correct.
right? So, like we talked before about the school zones. You know how you guys just hang out at the school zones,
Yeah.
right?
We do school zones, city streets, all over. Right
Yeah.
on Graveyard, I get off the highway because there's not that many cars. There's 2 cars on the highway, but there's 300 cars on the city streets. So I'm on the city streets because that's where all the people are.
And you're looking for those people that are
Under the influence.
under the influence, because those people are.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
so it's very, very important.
Yeah, and sometimes some of the graveyard. I know I used to do it. I know some of the graveyard troopers do it because we get off at 8. So sometimes the last 2 hours we would go close to our neighborhood and we would patrol school zones and stuff like that. So we would always be out there, and buses will love us to see us there, especially when the bus stops and then they're gonna pick up the kids and everything. You know how they pull the arms to stop.
Yeah.
For all traffic to stop. Some of
Yes.
us would hide in there and everything like that, because that's also a violation if a car just flies by it and fails to disregard the stop signs on a bus. So a couple of us, we would do that, and at 8 o'clock we would just clock out. But day shift, I know, does it sometimes. Swings, because that's when school's coming out. It's getting off, so swing shift will go in and we'll do their surrounding area depending where they live. But yeah, we'll definitely check on that too. So we have that ability. We're the state of Nevada, so.
Right. And that's what's important.
Yes.
Is that you're there and you're doing everything you can to stop these people from breaking the law on these roadways.
Correct.
100%.
All right, what's this? Heroes Live Forever Golf Classic. So we had the Heroes Live Forever Golf Classic. It was really wonderful. Johnny and I missed the photo. We got there at about 9 o'clock. And what was really cool is that we got to go to, I don't know if you guys have ever been to that country club.
No, I have not.
Okay, but it was really cool because they let Johnny and I in the golf cart,
Oh, nice.
right? And we weren't playing golf. And so right, Johnny? Right. And so we were driving around, and we you know what I mean? And we were just saying hi to people and filming, and you know what I mean? And all this type of stuff. And so this is the IPOF. So this is Chelsea's
Yeah.
the president.
Yes.
And so we love the IPOF. We love everything that they do, and it's just another way of law enforcement coming together. It doesn't matter what branch of service that you're with when it comes to the law enforcement. And so, just like with the Micah May, how the helicopter wasn't a Nevada
Oh
State
my
Police
God, yeah,
helicopter.
they-
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
And
they
so
were awesome.
you're all there together.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And so
the beauty of the career field that we're in is it doesn't matter what color your shirt is or what agency you work for. Everybody helps everybody.
Yes.
There's no like, oh, well, that's Metro, so we're just gonna go away, or oh, that's Highway, so we're just gonna go away. Like we if you need help, we're there. There's no because I field train too, so I make all of my trainees stop out with everybody. It does not matter if you're driving if you're driving a parking truck and you're out with somebody, then we're gonna be there too, because your safety is the most important. So we are always there to back each other up and to help each other out and to do whatever it is that we have to do to keep everybody safe. And that goes for every agency. We all work the same because it's safety.
yeah, and you know, we don't talk about it very much, but you know, there's some people who don't feel the most positive. You know what I mean? And so any type of backup that we can have is very important, you know? And so you are putting your life on the line to protect us.
Right.
And so when we see things like this and you know, everybody working together, it's really wonderful.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm trying to get you guys to go to the meeting. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm trying. You know what I mean? Well, Trooper Slater, you know what this means?
What?
That means you're done.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, what do you think of that, huh? It was only 3 hours, right, Johnny? Here's what I'm going to tell you.
Yeah.
I appreciate from the deepest bottom of my heart that you would take the time and come here and you would talk to us, okay? Because your knowledge is invaluable, and what you're sharing with us and talking with us is absolutely tremendous. But it's not there for the public to find the loophole. It's so that the public knows that you know the law. And so when you are asking them to do whatever you're asking them to do, you're not asking to be silly. You're asking because there's a reason.
Right.
And so we just have to respond to that. So I appreciate that. Trooper Cecina. Right. And I like how you guys don't call Trooper and stuff. It's just the last name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's very cool. You know what I mean? Final thoughts?
I just really appreciate the opportunity to be here. It's not very often that I get to talk to a mass amount of people. So I always say in my side of work is that I change the outlook of law enforcement one person at a time. So to have the opportunity to get on a platform like this is just a blessing. So I'm really grateful.
Well, gentlemen, thank you so much.
Thank
Now
you.
we're going to turn to this one, and we're just going to wave, and we'll say, see you later.
See you later.
See you later.